Knock, knock. Can I come in? How's it going, everyone? Welcome, welcome. My name's Forebears. Everyone kind of knows how I look like. Who's this other guy? I haven't seen him in 8 months. Hey, pup,
I
want to
know, how's
introduce
it
yourself? Welcome back. Welcome
Yes,
back.
he's back.
Oh my goodness. Guess who's back? Back again. It's the Bruno Mars of podcasts himself. He is the OG creator of the podcast. Oh my goodness, it's Puppy. Puppy, welcome back to the show. Where have you been these past 6-8 months?
It's top secret, mate. Can't tell you.
Top secret.
No,
He's
I
working
can't tell you.
for the
I've been
British
over in
Secret
Dubai.
Services, as if this man wasn't attractive enough. He's also a spy. But thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to help us out, man.
The jib's up now. What am I gonna do? Have you exposed?
Well, but yeah, just for the people who don't know you, because there's been a lot of change in the past 8 months. We have a whole new lower division. We have a lot of new teams. We have an absolutely like pugs are good now, right? So that's changed. No, I'm just kidding. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself for those who don't know you?
Yeah. So my name is Puppy. I used to play formerly on the Mercury Cougars until I graduated a couple of seasons ago. Bit of contention around my actual graduation as well because I didn't actually let it slip. So it kind of it flew under the radar for a little bit. So but I've come back with redemption after 6 months of being off with work. You have to excuse all the fucking weird dots on my face. I went to a stag do yesterday. I think you guys call it a bachelor party.
You went to a bachelor party. Okay. Oh, and by the way, Puppy's from the UK, in case you haven't figured it out. Yeah, he is in a different time zone currently.
It is, yeah. It's currently 5:15 here. So yeah.
So you went to a stag do and people shot you in the face.
They did shoot me in the face. Yeah, unfortunately, they were supposed to, but yes, they shot me in the face. The only place that I wasn't actually wearing any protection. So. Yeah, unfortunate.
I don't know how they do it over there, but here in America, they give you face masks when you're playing airsoft. Do they not do that there?
They do, yeah. I had my own set of sort of ballistics glasses. I was like, I'm just gonna wear these. It'll be fine. Nobody's gonna shoot me in the face. And here we are, a day later, with fucking crazy dots all over my face, looking like I got some kind of measles or some shit.
Oh my god, we don't talk about measles, man. Like the 9th confirmed case was in like the place that I live, and I'm like, what the fuck? Go vaccinate your kids. That is a political stance the pod will take. No, I'm not.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna go down that road. But it sounds like you had a really fun weekend. For myself, it's been a really relaxed weekend. How's everyone's weekend going? Go post in Twitch chat. But in any case, we got a lot of news to comb through today, lots of interviews to get through. So hey, let's get to it. But in the meantime, could you tell us the number one thing you miss about the place you went to? Are you allowed to tell us that?
The one thing I miss?
Yeah.
The food was amazing. The food was actually incredible. So we ate with the Australians, and the Australians know how to cook. And they cook a lot as well. So there's plenty to go around. Lots of curry, lots of fried foods and stuff, and just really nice stuff, loads of great stuff that you can choose from, and so much variety as well. Yeah. So that's the main thing that I'm gonna miss is having to cook myself, because I am not the best cook. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty shocking.
Oh my goodness. No, I don't believe that for a second. I mean, Pups, you're a man who has it all. Who's to say you can't cook? But speaking of variety, a lot of good games coming up this past week. Real quick, Night Ops took 3-2 over Swia. 05 Heads 3-1 over Seven Sins. Mercury Cougars taking the 3-1 over Lightbringers Leftovers. We're gonna be able to do a quick deep dive in all of those games because of our interview guests. We do have Moose from Night Ops coming up. We do have Scribble from 05 Heads going to be talking to us about that game. And, well, we're going to have Matty A, former coach of Breakthrough, also current player of Mercury Cougars, help us out in breaking down that recent 05 Head Seven Sins game. I just dropped my pen. So, there's that. Over on the lower division side, hey, let's bring that up real quick. We're going to have Night Ops Academy taking 3-2 over Saturn Snow Leopards, as well as Unknown Academy going 3-1 over 7 since Academy. So hey, lots of fun games. We do have some upcoming games as well. If you're a Lightbringers Legacy fan, or yeah, thank you, Lightbringers Legacy. That's their lower division. If you're part of the I keep getting confused. That is. If you're a Lightbringers Legacy fan, you're going to have 2 games over on June 5th and June 8th. June 5th against Saturn Snow Leopards, June 8th against Unknown Academy, both at 8 p.m. Right now, those are the only ones scheduled so far. But hey, as the week goes on, you'll get the opportunity to see a lot more games, hear a lot more casts, and hey, have a lot more fun, that's for sure. So there's that. Pups, have you gotten a chance to talk about the most recent patch?
I haven't,
on PTR. Have you looked at it at all, or?
No, because I came back on Thursday, so I literally haven't had a chance to kind of do anything really. And the past week has been kind of very hectic with handing over to my successor over abroad and stuff.
Right.
I didn't have any chance, so I'll be more than happy to kind of hear what changes.
That's okay, because I want to ask you, what is the, like, if you were to take like a snapshot of the last game of Overwatch you played, what the meta was like? Do you remember what that was like? Goats. All right, I'm letting you know right now that hasn't changed. Like, that hasn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I managed to watch a little bit of Overwatch League when the internet was okay, so I managed to kind of keep on top a little bit. But yeah, it seemed like it's still fairly similar now as to what it was.
I mean, hey, AoE heals, AoE armor is just way too strong. I'm confident that if Symmetra still had her shield generator, she'd be in Goats.
Really?
Like there'd be sim goats. Like I'm confident that'd be a thing.
Really? But who would you replace in that lineup?
In that lineup?
And like, who would you take out of the Ghosts composition?
I want to say Zen, but that's such like a dumb move to replace Zen with anyone right now because his Discord's so good, right?
I mean, Discord is just so good with especially with the high charge Zai just melting people constantly. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think she would be. I think it would definitely be interesting to see people try it, but I think it's kind of one of those sort of strap that maybe you're trying to use to catch people off guard. But yeah, I don't know. The shield generator thing, potentially, yeah, I don't know.
So let me quickly open up the most recent Overwatch PTR patch, and let me show you what's going on, actually. So first of all, have you gotten a chance to play any Baptiste?
Do you know what? I played a little bit.
Okay.
I'm absolutely awful at him because I keep forgetting that his right click heals.
So
yeah. I just go around like just shooting people. All I want to do is just play DPS. I'm like one of those Moira mains that just kind of go around using the purple balls all the time.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, you and me both. But speaking of Baptiste, his biotic launcher increased heal ammo from 10 to 12, and his amp matrix got a bit of a buff from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. I think a lot of people were thinking, hey, I can fire with my primary fire for a lot longer than I can heal with my secondary fire, so I'm going to put a lot more effort on that. And so that was just to really bring that up to snuff, probably prevent some reloads, because reload, of course, reloads both. D.Va's defense matrix was reduced from 15 meters to 10 meters. The actual graphic on the PTR also got a bit of an update. It's you can see it a bit more. So I guess before, when a lot of D.Va players, they relied on the defense matrix, trying to be like caught within like the visual effects of like, here's a Ryan shield, here's a grav, here's all these, sparks and whatever. You can see the defense matrix a lot more now, and you can definitely know now when it's on cooldown, which I think is a bit of a bigger nerf than people are making it out to be. McCree, his primary fire recovery was reduced from 0.5 to 0.4 seconds. So I was watching some PTR videos and trying it out myself, and he just feels a lot snappier because that decreased recovery time also means decreased recoil, right? Because like the time it has to move up, like that time isn't there anymore. So he's a lot easier to use now. But I don't think marginally so that people are going to complain about him being like a no skill hero. He's still very much a sharpshooter. Some quality of life changes with Orisa and Symmetra. Orisa's protective barrier can be deployed without interrupting reload. Symmetra, her interact range for a teleporter is increased from 1 meter to 1.5 meters. So if you're like a little farther away, you can still use it if you have the intent to use it. And then Torb, his secondary fire damage per pellet was reduced from 12.5 to 10.5. So I think a lot of people, when they were getting like overloaded, they could actually do a lot more damage with that secondary fire than Blizzard wanted them to. And of course, with that turret also raining down from above, he was able to get his ult really, really quickly. And I think that was to kind of bring that down in line. So there's that. That's kind of me just vomiting all this information at you. Oh, actually, also Assault, the game mode. The time awarded for capturing point A on all assault maps has been reduced from 4 minutes to 3 minutes. So we're not going to have 8-6 on Horizon Lunar Colony or anything stupid like that. I mean that's probably still going to happen, let's be real, but those were the main changes last PTR patch. These have not made it to live just yet. Thoughts?
Well, it's quite clear that Blizzard has kind of made it clear to us that they're not going to make any direct nerfs to goats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've kind of the patch that I sort of previously saw with the Rig patch, where she got her healing got nerfed, I think it was, or no, it's a armor pack.
Right.
Nerf.
Right.
And also the
with like her ultimate nerf being reduced to 30 seconds, right? Yeah,
exactly. And it falls off after a certain amount of time. It doesn't just stick with them and stuff like that. So after that, they're making it quite clear that they're not going to make any more direct nerfs to that, and they want the meta to shift, but they don't want to do it by directly nerfing goats. And I don't think we'll see that, unfortunately, as much as I would like to see that. But they're trying to make these kind of alternate comps more viable. Specifically Bunker, obviously, from all the different buffs to Baptiste, Orisa, all those sort of different heroes that are sort of staple Bunker comps. So it's interesting. I think it's going to definitely make it a lot more viable. But I think that we will still see goats in especially in sort of top level play.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I still think so. I think there's still some maps that you can't get away from it, really. The whole sort of premise of goats is it just kind of just runs over people, really, and especially in sort of maps where there isn't that ability to put a lot of distance between you and the sort of Bastion, the Bastion and the enemy team. I think you're still going to see those goats sort of ran. It's going to be one of those things. So. But it's interesting, especially with like the addition of so many new heroes since I've been gone. So I mean, I didn't get to play Ashe very much. I played a little bit when I came back in March for a couple of weeks, and she's pretty decent, but she doesn't really get that much playtime. And Baptiste as well. So I mean, that was two heroes in sort of quick succession since I've been gone in a short amount of time. And it definitely seems like they're trying to push the more sort of roster of heroes to try and kind of increase the variety of different comps that we see. Because obviously you're always going to have your same bunker comps, or you're going to have dive, we're going to have
like those archetypes will still exist.
Exactly,
but like different heroes are going to sort of swap them out. I see.
Exactly, yeah. So I kind of used this example the other day of I'm a big Dota player. Like I sunk about 3,000 hours into that game, and the reason why I loved it so much, and it's just so easy to do, is because they have like 115 different heroes that you can pick from. So you can constantly just switch in and out different heroes, and yeah, you can get different kind of comps and stuff like that. So it feels a little bit like they're trying to push more heroes to try and come up with that kind of like same idea, really. So it'd be interesting to see if we see a few more heroes added to that to kind of confirm that theory, but that's my theory.
Yeah. Have you got a chance to check out the anniversary event at all, and like the cool skins?
I saw the Winston one. The Winston one looks really cool.
The Winston Gargoyle,
Yeah. The other ones I didn't really pay much attention to, and I can't really remember. But the Winston one stuck out.
Do you,
me, especially since I like to play a lot of main tank at the moment.
Do you not care about Academy Diva? Is that not one you care about? Asking for a friend.
No, I guess. Oh no! Yes, I remember now. Yeah. And of course, the May one as well. Everybody loves the May.
Oh yeah, of course. Fun fact: 3,000 hours is 125 days.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. Don't
That's
tell me that. That's a lot of time to be spending on one game.
that's a third of a year.
I spent a lot of that time though spending it with my mates. Yeah, some of that is probably going to be time sort of just left in the game as well. So
oh, that includes AFK hours, Mom. Yeah, I just left it on. What was it?
I've got to tell people anyway.
What was it like? The most recent international had out of 120 Dota heroes, 109 were meta. Like they have a really good parity.
Isn't it?
They have a really good parity. I'm curious to see if Blizzard's gonna follow that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But in any case, we don't want to talk your ears off. By the way, get those confessions in over in confession box. Nobody sent in confessions this week, probably because you guys didn't get a reminder. But that's on me. Go post in the confession box. Someone please post the link. I unfortunately can't move my windows as you see them, but we do have our first interview coming up, and it's going to be someone from that KO Suia game. We're gonna have Moose coming in, and hey, we're gonna be chilling on this Sunday morning. It is a very chill morning. At least that is the vibe I want to give off. So hopefully it works out.
I can get behind that because I am horrendously hungover too. So.
Oh my goodness, Moose, come on in.
Chill.
Whoops. Hey, welcome. How are you? And while we're getting everything set up, want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Moose. I am from Night Ops. I'm the DPS player on Hitscan specifically. Mostly Sombra nowadays, a little bit of Zarya, but
And welcome to the podcast. Thank you for making yourself available. I'm digging the Diva. Is that a Sombra hoodie or a Diva hoodie?
Sombra hoodie.
But you're wearing a Widow t-shirt.
I'm wearing a Sombra t-shirt.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't expect anything else from the go-to Sombra porn. People think of Overwatch pretenders. Congratulations on your recent win. 3-2 versus Suia. How was that game? Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, it was good. Overall, it was good. We started out not playing how we wanted to. We got away with it for a little bit, but as soon as they started punishing our mistakes, and not to take away from Suia, they did really well. We had to up our game a little bit, and that went all the way into map 5 there.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really know what more to say about it.
So when you say that they punished the way we wanted to play, what was the way that you guys wanted to play? Was it just Sombra Goats through and through?
No, so we weren't playing Sombra Goats. Well, we played a little bit of it, but we played a little bit of Standard Goats. We didn't recently get payoff at this point, but we got him within this first season, or this is his first season, and we're still building him into our team. And so we're very good at Sombra Goats. Outside of Sombra Goats, we're still working to figure out a lot of the kinks.
Okay.
And it really is Payoff's played in a lot of teams before. He's had team experience.
And Payoff's your Rhine player.
He's our main tank. And he hasn't really had a situation where he's put into an already established team that is already a well-oiled machine. He's got to come in and replace that one part. So there's been a lot of movement towards the center from both sides of the line.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Pups, I wanted to forward this question to you because actually I did just get DM'd this. Is Sombra Goats the ultimate form of goats? And I kind of want to forward this to both of you boys.
It's not. I'll let him talk first.
I mean, it completely is very dependent on a couple of things, really, isn't it? It's maps and obviously what the other team's going to be running. I think, especially against something like, I don't know, really. Actually, no, I don't really think she is. No, I think it's definitely, if you can run it well, then yes, it could be really, really effective. But as with anything, it depends on your kind of Sombra player and whether or not she can get those key hacks off onto the key players like Zarya, because very much depending on Goats is very much dependent on kind of that back and forth of Zarya bubbles. So if you can get that advantage of removing those bubbles and kind of disabling her from gaining charge, especially quite early on, that's a real advantage, especially in all economies. So I think if you're able to kind of get yourself into a position to hack those key players, then I think she can be very effective. But again, that's a lot of variables, and to be honest, I think that's why I wouldn't say that she's the ultimate form. She is part of the ultimate form of Goats. regular goats is always going to be a little bit more dominant as long as you're kind of aware if they have a Sombra on the other side.
Moose, anything to add?
No, I agree with a lot of what he's saying. I think that when it comes down to it, if you have two teams playing goats and one of them's playing Sombra goats and the other one's playing standard goats, it's map dependent obviously, but I think if both teams play it perfectly, standard goats will win every time.
Okay.
I think there's just more that you can do with that comp, and Sombra is kind of like a shortcut to getting more value more easily, but I don't think that it has the highest skill cap.
Okay, all right. I think the logic there was, oh, you know, if they can grind EMP fast enough, they can really inhibit anyone or any form of whatever the enemy's playing. I think that was the logic behind that question. But as someone who is not as wrinkly brain as both of you, I feel like I cannot say anything on the topic. I'm just playing though. Moose, how did you get involved in Overwatch Pretenders?
Reddit. I feel like that's what everyone says, right?
Yeah.
There's a Reddit post and looked interesting, so you joined the server, tried out for a team, got unscuffed, and yeah.
You were part of the Season 0 champions?
No.
Okay.
So I joined while it was still called Scuffed, and then it was renamed Night Ops before we actually played a match.
Right.
Like that was like when Lycan graduated, and yeah, and so just every match that I've played in has been a Night Ops match, but it was called Scuffed.
So you're one of like the elders of OWP. Like you were there. You were there when Night Ops was created.
I mean, I don't think so necessarily. I feel like OWP was around a lot before I was here or have even heard of it. But I've been here for a while.
But nonetheless, you know, you've been present for a lot of Night Ops' victories. Like you guys have hit playoffs in the past 2 seasons, winning the last one, I might add. Congratulations on that. Could you give us a little insight on how sort of the well-oiled machine of Night Ops functions? Like, what do you think put your team a cut above the rest last season?
Well, I think last season we were the most coordinated team, and a lot of that was because Ramen had really, really good comms, and it was bad because we kind of just relied on him, and so if he had an off day, we had an off day, but we just all played together really well. We all showed up on game day always, especially towards the end of the season, and we just kind of gained momentum as the season went on. It's changed quite a bit now. Now I'd say that the comms are a lot more spread out, and because of it, we aren't quite as much of a well-oiled machine as we have been. But we're definitely getting back there. And
yeah. I'd agree with that. You guys are still number 3 currently in the standing. So, I mean, you're almost over at playoff contention, right? Playoffs. I've heard on the rumor mill that it's going to be top 4 teams. But nonetheless, I mean, how are you guys still prepping for that, if I might ask?
Okay, well, we've already played 05 heads. They were like... they were like the
Vancouver Titans are checked off the list. What are no?
Yeah. I'd say we have our match versus Breakthrough later today. Really, for almost the entirety of the season, outside of the 05 heads game, actually, we've been focusing almost entirely on ourselves. We haven't really been looking at other people, and we think that's worked to our advantage, because we really need to build in those basics again.
Okay.
And so, if you had to ask me like which matchup I am thinking is going to be the toughest for us for the rest of the regular season, I'd say 7 Cents. But I couldn't tell you about what we're going to do differently versus them versus Breakthrough tonight or versus, you know, Swea. Well, I know it will do different from Swea, but I don't know, like, we won't do anything special for 7 Cents, I don't think.
Okay, all right. How do you feel kind of like laying all your cards out on the table? You're basically telling them, I mean, hey, like what you see is what you're gonna get. We're gonna beat you anyway, right? Is that kind of what you're throwing down?
No, I don't know. I feel like a lot of teams in this league focus a lot on who they're playing against, and they try to do weird things, and it throws them off. And I feel like it'd be better and more competitive for the league as a whole if everybody was really focusing on being the best team that they could be.
Okay.
And not worrying about other people.
All right.
Do you think that comes from watching some of the Overwatch League because I can't remember which Overwatch League team does it. That kind of just throws out these real wacky comps.
The
Chengdu
Chengdu
Hunters.
Hunters.
Yeah.
Chengdu, yeah.
That's the
Do you
one.
reckon that's kind of inspired by them at all? Do you reckon people were trying to kind of like take what they do so well and kind of put that into Overwatch Pretenders? And it does make it a bit more interesting, don't get me wrong, but obviously then, like you say, then they're probably not playing their own game and they're being the best team that they can. But I wonder if that's maybe how it plays a little factor into it. People being inspired by that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a question?
I don't think it was a question. I think it was more of a
It was
statement.
kind of a question / comment statement. Kind of throw it out there now.
Well, you know, I also had a couple questions about Night Ops Academy. Are you involved with Night Ops Academy and sort of the interplay with both them and your parent team?
So I wish that I personally was more involved. I still do stuff with their DPS players occasionally,
Mhm.
but the vast majority of the coaching is Elijah and King Crimson.
Right.
Both of them are like the upper team and the lower team staff are all very intertwined,
Okay, that's good.
but they are like distinctly separate. Other than Tilt, who's a sub for the upper roster, who is also the manager of the lower roster. But everybody knows everybody. Everybody likes everybody,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's kind of like our incorporation with them, and
Are
we
there any
kind of
like
let them.
internal scrims? Is that a thing that happens?
There haven't been in a while, but they're coming up. There should be a few. We've been talking about it for a while, but
Cool.
we haven't really had time.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
Last season we did a bunch.
Yeah. And of course, I want to congratulate them on their win over Saturn Snow Leopards 3-2. I kind of want to know what their mindset was like going into Map 5, but I mean, hey, if you don't know that answer, you don't know that answer, right?
So I'm assuming you're asking a lot because of Matt's interview from the other week.
He is just such a he is such a character.
Yeah, so I think that he was coming on here with like intent to intimidate and
Intent to
like
meme.
play his
Yeah.
big cards, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like in reality, like don't get me wrong, they do think that they're the best team in the league. But they definitely have a lot more respect internally that they don't really necessarily show
Okay.
on game day. And they definitely like they spend more time working at what they're gonna do against specific players and specific comps and things like that.
Okay, that's where you get that sort of like scouting mentality, huh? All right.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all very emotional about it, and so I think that's like a huge positive. So I don't want to, like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with them being worked up on game day, but they are definitely a lot more humble in general than they probably came across.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Night Ops Academy are really just anime protagonists that don't know how to handle their emotions. All of them.
Not all of them, just like, you know, maybe all except for one of them.
Okay. Well, you know, I wanted to ask real quick because I'm actually bringing up the roster doc right now. I'm gonna throw some of your teammates' names at you, and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you think about them. Sound good?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Roster, please. Let's start with one we've been talking about. Payoff.
Payoff. So Payoff is incredibly mechanically skilled. He needs to not hold W as much sometimes when the rest of the team isn't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like actual individual skill, it's incredible, like next level.
Knave. He plays Lucio.
Knave is big brain. He always, like, I wouldn't say always gets his support off or support ults off like at the perfect timing, but he saves us so many team fights with them.
Okay. Nathan. He plays tank.
Nathan is like the silent killer on Zarya. His Zarya is incredible.
Okay.
And yeah, like rivaled by no one else on our team.
Archmanstadan.
He just frags.
Yeah. And he's your
That's all I'm
Zen
saying.
player, is that right?
He's
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
our Zen player. He just
Okay.
frags.
Sweet. Chief, he plays Ana. That's wrong.
Chief is inactive right now.
Chief is
He
inactive,
and
okay.
Knave are actually like they interchange. They're kind of our Lucio players.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been out for the season with personal stuff, but
Okay.
we can't wait to have him back.
And something that you did promise me, but he's unfortunately not here, is Sad Widowmane.
Yeah, I had to walk him to the train and then like walk back and get ready. It was sad.
Oh man.
Yeah, but he is just insane on like his his brig is next level.
Okay. He's the next Toxel. You heard it here first. Jar.
Yeah. Jar, just wait until we can play Farah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, like yeah.
Chat.
Chat's the best player on the team right now. Like hands down. I think that he is such a smart player, and super like in game he's like the most vocal by far.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like I can't say enough good things about Chat.
Okay. He has a great mane of hair.
And just saying with the PTR Diva like defense matrix changes, he actually will be able to see it because he's colorblind.
Oh.
And so he goes incredibly like well. He does it just on audio cue. He's gonna actually be able to see it now, and so it's just gonna be.
He's been playing around defense matrix by audio cue only until now.
Yeah, and if you've seen his Zarya, like whenever we play Sombra Goats, oh man.
Chat,
yeah.
what the fuck? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh yo. I have so many more questions for him now. Tilt. That is the last person on the roster doc.
Yeah, Tilt is a sub for us right now. She's really solid. She's a really good presence in game. Her Lucio is a lot better than her Zen, but she does not want that to be true. And yeah.
There is someone in chat who is saying Moose's comments on Night Ops Academy players.
Okay.
Here,
sure.
I'll just bring him up real quick, and if you can say something about him, by all means. But if you don't want to, that's cool too. Thunder.
Thunder. He's super fun. Like I don't
Moose
really
knows nothing about Thunder. Continue.
No. And Thunder is Naomi. Super fun, super mechanically skilled, especially in Hanzo.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I know I was just gonna preface this with I know them more as people than I do as players at this point.
Oh,
so you might get a lot of, but I'll give you what I can.
Yeah, Matt loves long walks on the beach. Matt.
Matt is super. I don't want to say like intimidating, but that's the entire mindset that I feel like he goes for when talking to people, and it's just, yeah, he says stupid things sometimes, and he walks a little too far forward sometimes in game.
All right.
But overall, he's a really solid player, also very mechanically skilled.
Sweet.
Especially on like Zarya.
We're gonna speed things up a little bit. Major Scott.
Scott's, I don't know, he's kind of a feeder. You know?
Sounds good.
He's from Boston, you know.
Oh man, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, also kind of a feeder.
All right, I mean,
him and Matt are really like.
You can't really talk about one without talking about the other.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. And they have really good synergy.
Okay, Science Museum.
He's so good. Like his Tracer is incredible. It's phenomenal. His Sombra, he picks things up really easily. I had like one session with him on Sombra, and from what I hear, it did wonders. And it like. Cool. Yeah, he just latches onto things and takes them and runs with them.
Zippo Man.
Zippo is really cool. Him and Scott are really close. They're actually roommates.
Nice.
And it's really fun to listen to them kind of go back and forth at each other.
Yeah, you can probably hear like both of them in like each other's mics. That'd be funny.
Occasionally.
Just Butters.
You'll hear like one. Butters is really cool. I don't know how much she's playing right now. I think she's a sub, but I could be wrong about that. Okay. But she's got a really solid diva. I mean.
And a little Yoda.
Yoda, from what I hear, I don't know Yoda that well, but from what I hear, Yoda frags. Like Yoda's like a mini arc. Yeah, that's as much as I can give you on that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I do have to cut this interview right there. Otherwise, I feel like we'd be here all day. But I wanted to first off thank you for being here, of course. And I guess now's the time for like plugs. If there's anything you want to plug, now's the time to do it. Discord, Twitter, Twitch. Like your mother's home cooking recipe on like edibles.com. Don't go there. That's a drug site. I shouldn't have said that at all.
Nah, maybe not. But Minecraft server. That's what I'm gonna plug.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
also,
yeah.
I want to shout out real quick. We haven't really talked about Twig.
Yes.
And also Mew and like the upper team coaching staff is a lot of the reason that we are able to play together the way that we are.
Okay.
And yeah, but other than that, just the Minecraft server. Everybody go play Minecraft. It's updated to the most recent version. You can use Optifine now. Performance improvements coming within like the next 3 weeks or so. I'm done.
All right. Check out the Minecraft server. Check out both Mew as well as Sir Twiggle. I think it's twitch.tv/Sir Twiggle. Really cool guy. And thanks so much for
Yeah,
being here.
super cool.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Once again, that was Moose from Night Ops on the recent Night Ops Suia game. We're just going to go straight into the next one. Scribble from 05 Heads. Come on in. Hello and welcome. While we're getting everything set up, want to quickly introduce yourself?
All right. Hi. I
Hey.
am Scribble.
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm the projectile DPS for 05 Heads, and by that I mean I play Brig for them.
I mean, her flail is considered a projectile, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is. So that's my best. That's the best thing. I'm best at that, and nothing else.
You seem
other than
really
shield bashing myself.
You seem really dejected about playing Brig. You're like, yeah, well, I guess it is. I don't really
mean,
want to be here.
I mean, it's fine. I don't mind it. It's just I would rather play other things, but at the end of the day.
Oh my goodness.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to quickly congratulate you on your win, 3-1 over Seven Sins. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you. Yeah, Seven Sins was a game that I think 05 more concerned about, just because they were the second seeded team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we were concerned about that, about what they were going to run goats all the time. So we didn't quite know what to expect on a lot of maps. So I think, well, first of all, I think the win was good. I'm glad that we won, but I think they put up a really good fight as well. So I'm happy with the result, and I'm happy I got to play with them as well.
It's really wholesome. Just real quick, I think your mic's like crackling a little bit. Don't know if there's anything on your end you can do about it. Yeah.
I think I can. I'm not quite sure. My mic's been messing up lately. I'm sorry.
It sounds really good right now. Whatever you just did.
Yes.
If the answer's like
ever so
nothing,
slightly.
then hey, so be it.
Yeah, I moved it very slightly, so.
Perfect. That's sometimes all you need, a bit of percussive maintenance. How did you get involved in OWP?
I got
Oh,
no
there
WP.
there we go again. I have no idea what you're saying.
I'm sorry, man.
No, that's totally okay.
I got involved. A friend of me told me about it, but I didn't really join it until I saw like a Reddit post. And from there I joined, and I joined at a pretty good time, because when I joined, like about a week later, the like a free agent show kind of happened.
The free agent showcase happened, and you really popped. You were second pick.
I don't remember what pick I was. It wasn't a super low one, but I did pretty well in it, and I got picked up for Breakthrough. Yeah. And I was with Breakthrough for 2 seasons, and so that was, I just kind of joined at the right time, and I enjoyed the environment, so I wanted to.
What would you say is the best way for free agents to get noticed if they wanted to join a team?
I think it's really easy to just talk in anywhere, because I don't think anyone in OWP bites. So I think it's important to make yourself known, not just as a player, but as an actual person. So I think that's kind of important. Of course, anytime that you can to like actually play with the other people on the server, be it pugs or if there's another FA scrim or whatever. Right. I think that's important, and I think for a lot of people, it's not even a bad idea to just DM teams asking if they can have a tryout. As long as they're looking for the position they play. Right. If they don't, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you just gotta make yourself known and participate, and because if you don't, there's to be there that takes your spot. Right, there'll be someone else there to take your spot. I get that. Yeah, I get that. I feel like pugs are some of the best ways to get involved, and there's always like a constant like showing of people there, and the more people that can sing your praises, the more you get noticed, so on and so forth. Don't play goats and pugs. That's a bad move. Yeah, please do not do what you did and play goats and pugs.
People are like 4B, Force Goats and Pugs. No, there were 5 other people that played Goats. I'm just
you're
saying.
the one that suggested it.
Okay, if I'm like, hey, let's
there's
go
a-
Goats as a joke, and yeah, it was a joke. No,
That was a terrible joke.
it was about a joke. Don't go Goats and Pugs. You'll kill them. You'll get crucified. You'll get pug banned.
Yeah,
That's what happened to
unfortunate.
me. The 4-bear story.
It is a good place to show off like that you can play stuff though. So
Yeah.
I endorse Pugs officially.
There you go. You heard it
Yeah,
here first. I endorse Scribble endorsing Pugs officially.
Thank you. Thank
And I
you.
kind of agree with the fact that you kind of get out what you put in, really.
Yeah.
And definitely kind of putting yourself out there as a free agent is
Mm.
really important with those Pugs. Exactly, to
Mm-hmm.
do it.
I wanted to ask a little bit more about the 05 Heads Sevenson's game, which we will be able to sort of break down a little bit over with Mattier in around 10 minutes. But I want to ask sort of how each of those maps went and what was sort of everyone's mindset going in the next one. Like from the very beginning, has 05 Heads let the fame get to their head? And I need you to not mince words here.
I don't think so. I think playing the best that we can per map on an
Okay.
individual.
Okay, playing the best you can on an individual basis on the maps. And I'm repeating what you say because you are, I think, like skipping out a little bit just for the
Oh, my
people.
bad.
Yeah, no
Oh,
worries,
my
no
bad.
worries.
I think a lot of it is us trying our best to play not only as good individuals but as a unit as well, because at the end of the day it's a team. So that's kind of our priority, is always good target focus and making sure that we follow the orders that we were given by our coaches. And that's kind of the, I think, thought process we've had coming into every game that we've played this season so far, is just follow the game plan and do what we know we can do.
Right.
And so that's how Hollywood went for the most part. It was definitely a little bit of a oddball, because on Hollywood attack, on our attack, they did not play goats once, so it was kind of awkward for us because we never
Yeah.
really had any scrim experience against non-goats on Hollywood B and C. So
Okay.
that took a little bit to get used to, but I think we adapted. And then on defense, they played goats, and so a little bit more comfortable against. So
I see. Okay.
I think that's a big reason why we were able to hold.
Right. Defense a lot more comfortable because the enemy team played more goats, and I guess that's what people's flavor of the year has been so far. So
Yes, very much so.
Ilios went a little differently though.
Yes. Ilios was a little awkward. It started off all right. It actually started off very well. We clean engage, and then we kind of rode that. We kind of rode that into 100-0, I believe. But the second map, I believe, was light. Started off very poorly. Reader got booped 4, and they picked him off very, very
Right.
Which was
Reader
great
got
play
booped.
by them, and we just didn't really know how to adapt to it. Yeah, and so he got destroyed, and it took us a while to kind of recoup and be at ult economy parity advantage. So
Right.
once we got there, I think we played pretty well, but at that point it was like 99-0, and they just played smart and used their time wisely. And yeah, they played that map about as well as they could have. They even though we won the fight due to ult advantage, they used their time very wisely and got good damage off constantly. So we lost that fight. Not that fight, but that map in general, mostly because they took their advantage and ran with when it took us quite a while to recuperate. And so
Okay.
that's kind of the 1-1 there.
And then Volskaya went very well in your favor.
Yes. We actually don't have a ton of like Volskaya experience, mostly just because I think Paris is the third map or the more popular map. in OWP. But we have confidence in Volskaya because I think Volskaya kind of lends itself to the way that we like playing both Sombre and regular goats. We kind of like to be the initiators and the ones that take advantage of situations, and so that's kind of what happened on Volskaya A. Even though I think we lost someone early, it might have been me. I can't quite recall, but
right, that's erased from your memory.
Yeah. If it did happen, it's not gonna happen again because I can't have it happen. I believe what happened is that they were on that little building near point.
Oh,
kind
on
of
the
away
right
from
side.
both sides.
I see.
So they got booped off there relatively quickly. I believe I whip-shotted someone off, and there was like a Lucio boop, and so they kind of lost their position really early, and then we had we were just stationed pretty well on point.
Bless you,
and
puppy.
so that was so that was kind of the deal there. And then from there we just kind of snowballed point B because X had EMP, and Raider got shattered pretty fast after point A. And so from there, we were just able to combo our ults pretty well. Hobbs died with Grav, but it didn't matter. I'm still not sure how he died with Grav. He was very far away, but I don't know. We don't have the replay system yet. But I think a lot of the reason that our time bank was so big was just because we got a very, very clean engage on the second point from point A, because that kind of middle part where you're running down there is very, very important.
Yeah.
So I think we got that down very well on Volskaya, and that's been something that's been to our advantage. So I think that's why our time bank was so big.
547, yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice time bank to have, to say the least.
Right.
And for their defense, they tried this ball 4 DPS comp for point A to just try and snowball it quickly so they can have a goats v goats while the oil economy is still down because we would lose so fast. But it did not work well. No, I didn't really. I think two times very early. Volskaya defense that comp with X's slime. So he was able, and I think our support line was able to live a little longer than is intended for a 40, and so we were able to burn a lot of time off on point A, and then at that time we already had ult advantage because we still had goat characters being played, and when they switched to full goats, I already had a rally, like we already had a diva bomb, we had for the next ensuing fight. Yeah, very well.
Well, whatever you said, I'm sure it worked, because you did cut out a bunch, but that's okay. Preserving the backline, your enemy swapped over to full goats, but at that time you had a full ult advantage, and there was a rally that really helped cement that game in the victory books.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sorry I'm cutting out so much.
And that's okay. That's okay. You know, I just want to make sure I'm getting all the critical details. Rialto went a lot differently because there were a lot of really extended goat fights. We'll be able to dissect one a little later. And perhaps Seven Sins had found their stride at that point, but at that point it was already 3-0. How did that Rialto game go nonetheless?
I think that Rialto game went kind of like I think it was a mixture of both Seven Sins figuring out the proper things to do against the goats, and very sloppy because we already won 3 acts a bit and didn't take it as seriously as we should have, which you can't do against Seven Sins. They're a very, very good team, so I think they took advantage of the fact that we weren't seemingly as prepared for that final map as we should have been.
Okay.
And then they played their advantage long engage,
Right. I think the
And
long engage
weirding
is
up.
definitely where they thrive.
That's
Okay.
their like I think that's where Seven Sins is such a good goats team compared to other teams, is that um even if their macro or micro play is like slightly worse than another, always have to stick to it and don't really switch anything up.
Right. They're a very, very consistent team.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, I think that makes it just all the more incredible that you and your squad were able to definitely, you know, win that match. I want to do sort of the same thing I did in the previous interview, where I sort of ran your teammates' names by you, and you just give me snap judgment, your very first impression of them in terms of their gameplay or just who they are. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
All right, let's make it happen. Roster, please. Here we are. You have yourself, of course. Then there's Richie.
Richie is a very responsible person in the terms that like he's very with his ults and knows it. And
Very
also he
good
helps
results. Okay.
us. He helps us set up scripts. So I enjoy playing with Richie.
What a responsible
He's
teammate
always has a
who's
good
good
game
with
plan.
ults.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And forgive me for talking over you. Reader Rabbit.
Reader is very good in the sense that he knows when to play passive and aggressive.
Mhm.
So he has a good way of switching up his play style dependent on what we're trying to do. And
Okay.
I think it worked out very well, or it has worked out very well in the maps that we've been playing. So yeah, I'm someone that condones Reader Rabbit as probably one of the best main tanks in the league, just because he's able to follow.
Mhm.
He's able to follow his team and do what's necessary for a main team to do very consistently. Very consistently.
Fair enough.
Awesome. What's your thoughts on Eagles?
Oh, sorry.
What's up?
Oh,
Um,
Scribble, we just asked you what your thoughts were on Eagles.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
No,
I
you're
just kind of
fine.
blanked out. Eagles is really good. Eagles is a new player, so I was a little. I wouldn't say hesitant, but I was curious to see how well he'd fit in. But he fits in very well. He's incredibly good at getting like early picks, especially on like another Zen when they're both doing Zen volleys.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm a little sick, but
That's okay.
he's very good at building transcendences, and he's been doing a lot of work with Richie as well, and they've figured out a lot of different strategies and ways that they can play support in different areas, and I think it's helped our team a lot, because I think our support line is probably what sets us apart from other teams
Mhm.
so much.
Okay. XYS. Tell us about him.
X is just very very good.
He is.
And, like,
he's
all-
really
and
good.
just-
Oh my goodness.
He's really, really good, and he's really good at every single character, which is insane. And, like, there's been scrims where like he has to play Brig, and I'm playing something else, and like I swear he's just a better Brig than I am too. Like, he's just very good at every character, and it never seems like he really has any inconsistencies.
Right.
And I think a lot of the reason that we were able to get a lot of these team fights and a lot of these game victories was because X's Sombra is just so good.
Mhm.
And I know you just had Moose on here,
Yeah.
but like I think like Moose and X are probably the top two Sombras in this league. And
All right.
like
Fair enough.
I think he's just a very consistent player, and it works well with the team just because he's able to play pretty much everything that we would ever need him to.
All right. Hobbs.
Hobbs is very funny, and I like him a lot.
Perfect.
He's very good too. I think a lot of Diva players in the league kind of just focus very hard on Diva, but the way we play, he's often switching to Zarya, but I don't really see a dip in quality between his Zarya and his D.Va, which is, I think, very impressive for a 2K19 main tank for someone to keep up kind of with both of those roles.
Yeah.
So that's impressive, and he seems to have a very good understanding of good engagements, and his defense matrix usage is very good. Like he's eaten, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 grabs so far this season, which is impressive at our SR bracket.
I feel like eating grab is the equivalent of like a slam dunk.
Yeah, no, he's some showing off.
Yeah. Sorry. A hat trick for them footballers across the ways. Talk about Soup Time and Divine Booty. No? Wow.
What name, by the way? Divine Booty.
Divine Booty. It's a good name.
That's a great name. I just saw that one.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Hey, we were talking about Soup Time and Divine.
I don't know who Divine is.
Who is Divine? Why are they on the roster, Doc? What the hell? You know what? I'll take the L on that one. Soup Time. Talk to me about him.
I don't know who that is. Soup Time is 100%. 100%.
That's it. He's just the 100% emoji personified as a person.
Yeah, he's the 100%. He's the 100 emoji. He's the best Lucio in the league, 100%. Like, he's incredibly good, and he's able to get away with a lot of very aggressive positionings just because he has the mechanical skill to get in and out very well, and it helps our team a lot with aggressive pushes and good engages. And his sound barriers never seem bad. So I think he's the best Lucio in the league, 100%. And he's very, very, very good.
Okay. Well, I suppose with a team with this much platitudes and, this much like love from like inside the team, and of course a lot of success that they've been showing off, I can only imagine that, playoffs is but a couple games away, and y'all are gonna kill it until then as well. So thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
Before I let you go, I gotta ask, any plugs or any anything you want to promo? Tell us what's going on in your life. Any different plans for summer? Hit us with it.
Not really. I don't stream, and I don't have a Twitter account. So I don't really have anything to plug. Vote #this for best coach at the end of the year. That's the only.
#this for best coach at the end of the year. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being here, and hey, good luck in next week's game.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Once again, that was Scribble from O5Heads, fresh off the win 3-1 versus Seven Sins. Be sure to vote #this for best coach at the end of the season. We got one more interview / analysis segment coming in, and it's going to be from Mate EA, currently Mercury Cougars' former breakthrough coach. Come on in. And we're just getting everything set up real quick. But while we're getting everything set up, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Say again?
Do you want to quickly introduce yourself, mate?
Oh, I'm Mate EA. I'm the best main tank in the Overwatch Pretenders.
In the Overwatch Pretenders?
In the Overwatch Pretenders.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all. I'm part of Mercury Cougars.
The best team in the league.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a former coach. Yeah, I joke about being the best main tank.
Well, welcome for being here. Thanks for making yourself available. How's it going? Nice Ryan hoodie.
Oh, thank you. My girlfriend got me this, as well as everything in the background.
I was about to say, like, I see like the bedspreads, and I see like the oh, my mom's in the background. Hello, mom. All right, we're gonna wait. Okay, cool. As well as like the art book and like the Funko Pops. Oh, dude, that's Mama Bear right there for sure. Thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. It feels early right now. I don't know why.
I mean, it's early for me, right? I started this at like 9 a.m. PST, right?
Okay.
Right,
yeah,
so I mean, like, there you go.
It's 1300. I should be asleep, honestly.
1300. Well, I mean, still, you're here, and that's better than being asleep, right? I mean, you were dreaming of being on the pod. Now you're on the pod. It kind of works out. Funny how things work like that. How did you get involved in OWP?
All right, so I actually didn't see it on Reddit. I actually saw a Twitch stream. Sometimes I look to just like boost smaller channels and stuff, and you guys weren't all the way down by any means.
Perfect.
30 people. It was during one of your finals last year, and so I just started watching. I was like,
yeah,
well,
it must have been the finals. Fun fact: the finals before that, the one where Alpine Wolves won it all, got 110 people.
Jeez,
It's insane. Oh my goodness. Let's
yeah,
do that again.
I saw it and I was
guys.
like, dang, this is interesting. I want to coach, and then yeah, now I'm on a team.
And so how was that transition going from coach to team? Like, do you find yourself still giving like your now teammates, I suppose, like little like tidbits of info, or what's going on with that?
Heck no. They on Mercury Cougars, they all know each other really well. I haven't integrated into the team yet. You know, I'm part of the team, but I'm not really part of the team.
Yeah.
Because like it takes a minute, especially if everyone knows each other already.
Yeah. Mercury Cougars has a really solid core for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
No, that's okay. In fact, this interview is meant to be a conversational, so like the more memey we can make it. I mean, hey, it's great. Congrats on your recent win. Mercury Cougars 3-1 to Lightbringers Leftovers. Talk to me about how that game went. You were in it.
All right, so the game was easy, very easy until the last map. I don't mean that insulting like easy, but it was just like a complete sweep. I don't think we dropped a point until I started playing. So, and it was on the last map, and I just got they just started focusing me down so hard. Like I had so many free shatters until they actually started focusing me, and we didn't start focusing the Reinhardt. We got a lot cocky actually. And then yeah, in our comms, like it can get kind of tense sometimes, and so that's whenever you start failing, and so that was kind of what was happening.
Yeah.
And so we kind of threw Rialto in a way, and we almost went for a full hold, and then like on the first point, and then we went into overtime, and then we just completely threw it.
And you know what? I'm gonna step back for a second. Puppy, you coach this man. How is he? Like,
you say I coach him. I mean, I haven't actually had an opportunity to.
Dad's been away for a while.
I have been away for a long time, son. So I apologize for that. But I'm back now. Okay.
Nice.
I got all the cigarettes I need.
Oh my
but
goodness.
no, yeah. So I haven't really had. I haven't had a lot of time to actually sit with the guys and sort of have an opportunity to kind of. See how they're doing.
Is it true they call cigarettes something different in the UK? What do you guys call them? Like smokies, fucking like wet logs? I don't know.
Some people call them. This would be quite offensive, actually. Could potentially. So
got it. It rhymes with rags.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm going out for a bag. Yeah, so.
We legitimately got banned from Twitch. How could you do this to us?
Well, no, in the context of the
we're gonna cross that out in post. We're gonna cross that out in post. Bags, yep. Why did this go this direction? Okay.
I don't know, dude.
But Media, 3-1 LBLO. That last game, Rialto, right? Yeah, you said you kind of got a little cocky. How were comms then? Like, did they get tens? Was it kind of like, we already won this?
Okay, so we went. So whenever it went to us, I was like, okay, guys, we can do this. And then I'm gonna be straight up honest. I don't think I'm very liked by some people on the team.
Oh,
not gonna lie. No, that's okay with me. Yeah, I'm not there to be liked. I'm there to get better. But so someone was like, hey, Media, stop dying so much. And then someone was like, just stop letting your shield break. Like, my shield's never broken. I never break my shield because it takes 6 seconds to get your shield back after it actually breaks. Well, it feels like 6 seconds, but it's probably more like 4. But to get it back up to 600 HP. And so, like, I never let it break whatsoever. But they were focusing my shield down so freaking hard that I couldn't do anything. I would get aggressive and then all of a sudden pull back, and that's not really a good thing to do. And so I kind of got in my own head, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like shield management is definitely like one of the things that differentiates like a good Reinhardt from a phenomenal Reinhardt.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
in that way. So the thing is, you weren't always part of MC. You were a former coach of Breakthrough, and I wanted to ask how coaching a team was. Like, do you find that it was hard to make that transition? And you said that you weren't liked by people per se. Do you think a lot of that comes from like your background of like being a once Masters main tank, or you were part of a 4.2K
not at
team,
all.
that sort of thing? Or
No, it comes down to I'm cocky. I'm very cocky.
this,
I know I'm good.
he's the
you
bumper
know?
of the league.
I know I'm good, and no one likes someone being cocky. I don't even like when I'm cocky, and so I try to tone it down. Even I've gone to Cryptic. I'm like, hey man, like Cryptic is very cool and collective.
Oh
as a
man,
main
dude,
tank.
Cryptic has a lot of fans too.
Yeah, Cryptic is very like Mercury Cougars by far they're hogging the 2 best main tanks. Got it. So I kind of want to play against Cryptic. So but like the difference between us is he's like a dad. He just reminds me of a dad. He's like always steady, just like, hey guys, chill, you know. He can get toxic, interestingly enough. But God, I'm telling all the secrets. But like so that's the difference between us as main tanks. He's more aggressive for sure. But yeah. So whenever I'm playing in my own head, I actually count who takes the most shatters, who gets stunned the most.
Okay.
Like,
You're already stat padding and trying your best to be like, listen.
Exactly. And I got stunned like 5 times on Rialto. I got shattered 5 times. That's how cocky I was. I just was like, it's not me, it's my freaking team.
Oh,
My team
man.
sucks. In my own mind.
No,
I didn't tell
no,
them that.
No, you can't do that.
Everyone does that. Everyone does that in their own head at some point. And so I was like, damn, my team, man, God. But it was actually me being too aggressive, because as a main tank, you're like the leader of the group. You're there to take damage, really. And so I was taking way too much of it, and then your team just falls apart as soon as your main tank's dead.
Right. I want to pull back a little bit, right? We're here, we're on the podcast, and I wanted to ask, how did you get, how do I even ask the question? I guess, what's it like coaching a team?
Oh, how did I drop in rank?
No.
Okay.
What I mean, well, like, it got worse. That's the answer, right? No. But rather, like, what's it like coaching a team? And I guess just that's my question. Like, what advice would you give like aspiring coaches, as someone who has experience?
Have the time for your team. Honestly, I didn't have the time for my team. The reason, and I created. Scribbles used to be called 911.
Yeah.
He was someone I recruited. I didn't know he changed his name, and he messaged me. I was like, who are you? But anyways, so honestly, have the time for your team. I was on night shift, and like I really couldn't coach. I don't even know why I did that. But now that I'm working days, I have enough time for my own team, like playing with them and everything.
Right.
So yeah, have the time. Pick talent that's not toxic, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's actually a really, really good segue, talking about how to be the best person you can be, to start checking out some clips and really, really breaking them down. You have a couple clips for us, and you're going to be breaking down the, the 05 Head Sevensons game. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Before I get to that, can I say something about 05 Heads?
Absolutely.
They're very good. They are. But they have a crutch, man. And that crutch's name is XYS, okay? He is one of the best, man. He is. And I think once he makes Masters, which XYS, you're getting it soon, I promise you. But once he makes Masters, nope. Sorry. Goats meta will die, and they're going to be screwed. But for now, they're going to take this one. I promise you, they're going to take this one.
Well, I mean, I feel like we'll just have to see. And let's get these clips going. Just give me 1 second to get some stuff set up.
I'm remembering how to do this. Okay.
As long as you don't show your desktop, we're fine.
No, I put note cards all over it. We're good.
Oh my goodness. All right.
We saw mate's sort of desktop before the pod started. We're like, yeah, you're gonna need to cover that one up. here, please.
Okay. So, sorry guys. I just put some quotes by certain people on my desktop back. XQC was like, Mediae is the best main tank in the league.
Do you want to read them out loud? Oh, give me one second.
XQC says Mediae is the best main tank in the league. I agree completely. And Jane was like, if I had $1 for every main tank better than Mediae, I would have $0. And then God said, Mediae is a god. So, yeah. All right.
Those guys know their stuff, to be fair.
What? All
Cool,
right,
so what we got going on for the first one?
So first clip is pretty interesting. To put it in short before I even begin, Seven Sins throws this. I like to call this clip Seven Sins throws. All right. I sound toxic, but you're about to see what I'm talking about. All right.
And
so
would you mind maximizing that screen window?
I got you.
Perfect.
Okay. So Seven Sins, if we look up here, we almost have Grav, Trans. We have almost every alt except Shatter and Hammond. Hammond was just here to stall the point, you know, instead of a Brigitte. Also over here, nothing, okay? So they just have beat, okay? So Seven Sins is 0.4 seconds. I can't even read that. I wish I had more frames. All right, so here we go. They come in to stall, right? So what we have over here is pretty classic. They're all together. We throw a grab. Seven Sins throws a grab, so we should focus down everyone in that graviton, right? No, we throw a Diva Bomb, which is easily shielded. No one to bash it whatsoever. Hammond can't even displace the Reinhardt, so that bomb was basically useless. Okay? Then we beat right after that from the side of Seven Sins. So on this, I'm just going to analyze why Seven Sins didn't get this. So also Five Heads does a great job of sticking together, you know? So after this bomb and everything, Lucio is dead, right? Soup Time, one of the best Lucios in my opinion, is dead. And so that's a pick, but the main tank is gone. So what's going to happen? All right. So main tank, look at all those picks coming in from Seven Sins. We got Brigitte down, we got Lucio down. That's 2 supports, okay? And Goats, Lucio is a huge part, and Brigitte for that stun. But XYS gets a pick on Zarya, and then Zarya has her bomb coming in. Her Grav Gush. So they just keep on getting the picks right here. They even get Five Heads Reinhardt. But remember, there's a spawn advantage. I should use this mark. There we go. There's a spawn advantage over here, okay? So...
Where? Sorry? Okay.
I hope you guys can see that.
I don't know if I can see that enough, yeah.
All right, so we have a spawn advantage going. And then... So I love how Hammond goes for the Zenyatta over here. Picks him off, but XYS, of course, he's on it. He's on his game. He gets... And then Reinhardt just pins randomly and dies to a bomb, and yeah, it's over just like that. So so what happened, what went wrong was Hammond went out to focus the Zenyatta, right? And then Reinhardt for some reason is just like, hey, let me just charge out here really quick, and then there's a bomb, and then boom, that's the end of your game.
If you were to distill sort of this entire clip into like one lesson for teams to get better, what would it be?
There's not even one lesson that could fix this. Gosh.
It started off really well for the Seven Sins.
It did. They got the picks they needed, but things stopped dying.
Puppy, forgive me. What do you want to say?
The guys that on Seven Sins did a really good job of kind of splitting the focus quite early on in that clip, and you kind of saw the Zarya taking that kind of wide angle. I can't remember who it was that was talking about it. I watched a stream the other day, and they're talking about the difference between these kind of off-tank sort of players, like the Divas and the Zaryas. They're taking these kind of off angles to kind of prevent this kind of focus from being directly on their main tank, and kind of getting them to kind of shift their focus between the 2 focal points. And the Zarya of Seven Sins, forgive me, I didn't even know how to say that name. I'm not even going to try, but did like a really good job of kind of like splitting those angles. And they kind of seemed to make the most of it, but the grab just, I don't know what exactly happened, but they just didn't seem to be able to get enough damage into it. I think that's where they needed to kind of win it, was with the grab, because that's everything else was kind of coming up sort of fairly late into that fight, and they needed a couple of picks off of that at least.
Yeah. I am learning alongside all of my upper and lower division classmates here, currently in Twitch chat. Spidey, thank you for the 5 bits. You own the stream. Does this go back in your pocket? How does this work?
Oh my god. Exposed,
right? We're just all lining Spidey's pockets here. All right, sounds good. So that was the first clip. What's next?
All right, so next here we have interesting. This is how the turntables. That's what I like to call this clip. So what we have here on that last clip, we had 7 Sins throwing, but on this one, it's very rare. But even 5 heads makes mistakes. So what you're gonna see is 7 Sins is controlling the point, right? And 5 heads loses their main tank early on, but they don't reset. They just play this out till it's 50% in favor of 7 Sins, and I believe they lose this point. Like they lose this map in particular, not the map in the entire map, but this
round, yeah, like on Ilios Lighthouse, yeah.
So here we go. So 7 Sins has control of the point. Well, easy day. So here comes 0-5 heads. You know, they're like, we're the best in the league. And then they get an early pick on the Zenyatta, but Brigitte gets the Brigitte. Both Reinhardts are dead, right? But there's something so powerful in this game that can contest a point almost single-handedly. And her name is Brigitte. And here, you know, she's rallying, but 0-5 heads has no target focus. You see that? They're all just doing their own thing. So I believe that's where they go wrong, and they just keep stalling it out. And here we are almost at 50%. Until finally, whoever's their shot caller, probably Reed, just is like, hey guys, reset. You guys are freaking throwing. So there you go. This is proof that 0-5 heads is not invincible to I don't even know what I was about to say.
Maybe to the mistakes of not focusing their own targets, that sort of thing.
They didn't focus down targets, and then they just kept stalling it out. Once you lose your main tank, unless you have a pick on theirs too, the instant call should be reset. You know.
And
so.
And Puppy, you've seen this clip as well. Do you have anything to add?
It's just one of those fights. It's where kind of very, very brawly, and eventually kind of comes down to who's has the ability to be able to focus down a target first. Sometimes when you come into fights, I remember from playing a little while back, you come into these fights and you kind of have like a clear plan of what you want to do, and how you execute that is quite key. And if you can execute that well, it's obviously quite key. So your ability to be able to shot call and say, look, we need to focus down. If there's a person that's out of position, or there's a person that specifically is key to the team comp, like in GOATS, the Ryan or the Zaya or something like that, the ability to be able to focus those down early is really, really crucial. And when they're kind of both the Ryans were kind of taken out of the equation, it was very much a case of, you know, getting the sort of targets focus onto like people like the supports, Zara, especially if she's high charge, and they just didn't do that well enough, to be honest. There was a couple of really good plays that like Hobbs made. He managed to eat the graph as well, and he used his bomb to reset his into his mech. But I think at that point, like mate has already said, it kind of was already over, and maybe potentially using those extra ults kind of a bit detrimental to their future plan. Future point contesting.
Okay. Sounds good. So be sure to focus your targets and don't throw ults when you don't need to. What's next?
All right. So next here we have the classic XYS is a god on Sombra. That's what I call this. So going into this, we already have 640 on the time bank, meaning they just completely destroyed them on the first point. Okay. So Reed's going to come in here and wait for the Sombra EMP. I believe Sombra needs to place her translocator first. It's on cool. So that's what I don't really understand, why this Reinhardt went in here, why Reed went in here, even though they didn't have a Sombra set up. See, Sombra's on that back left-hand corner, but she actually has to reset. So I don't actually know what that's about. So here comes Sombra in with the EMP, and what you're going to see is classic cleanup. This Zenyatta, Mr. Pianist, should have reacted instantly as soon as he saw that Sombra. So I think that may be a bit on their team for not like peeling a bit, or the Zenyatta not hiding, for that. So just Reed comes in and just cleans up, and that's the end of it. EMP shatter is pretty powerful.
And
Well,
I guess
I don't think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think he actually gets anyone with the shatter. I think he gets one person. Let me go back. Yeah, he misses his shatter completely. So we're not going to talk about that.
So it was really the EMP and it's like the immediate like disabling of enemy enemy like ultimates and abilities that led to them really being able to clean up with abilities. Got it.
Exactly. I think a little bit of this was they should have Zenyatta a little further back, hiding for his trans, but it happens. We're here to learn.
Right. And we included this clip because it was like a classic example of like a good like EMP engage. Is that the idea behind it?
Exactly. They're all grouped. I don't know what happened with that shatter right there, but
I think
this is just a classic.
I think
way
it got
of winning.
booped up by the Lucio, if I had to guess.
Let's see. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I'll be intrigued to see it from the
it looks like
definitely
replay system. Yeah, there you go. I think he is booped by the Lucio. I think that's what's going on there.
Yeah, but
I'd be interested to see it from Sombra's point of view, because I'd like to have seen just before she translocated out what kind of what her positioning was, in the sense that if there was a clear kind of idea that the Sombra was looking for an EMP, like whether or not that should be then called out. Sombra
like she already had EMP.
Out.
Yeah.
Exactly,
she already had it, so I don't know what that was about.
She may have just not been in a position to do it, but then if they've obviously seen her because they've damaged her, so they must have been able to kind of say, look, she's looking for an EMP here. And I do agree with Mate. There's the crucial thing there is having the you have to hit your ultimates, unfortunately, and if you don't, then you kind of die with them. It's exactly what we've seen OG pianists sort of play.
Like, look at Seven Sins, all their ultimates just stacked, man, and they all are sent back to.
It's unfortunate.
Right. Well, classic cleanup by O5 heads. They ended up with a 547 time bank.
I just saw something else.
Yeah, tell us.
So Zenyatta is right here just chilling. He has his trance, but he doesn't go out and install the.
Huh.
So I don't know what that was.
Maybe at that point they thought it was like a lost point already. I don't know. Or maybe they were
miscommunication, or sometimes you don't look up at the time.
Well, nonetheless, I feel like Volskaya was a very very dominant performance by O5 heads for sure. And you got one more clip for us, is that right?
Final clip is the Seven Sins again. I believe they won this map. And
they did. They won Rialto. This is one of those really goatsy brawly fights, right?
This is literally the definition of why goats is sometimes not fun. You can use all the ultimates, but nothing. So here we go.
Okay.
All right, so Seven Sins has to get this next point. They're coming in. And then here comes the EMP, then the Graviton. Reed is just free swinging, but is interesting is Tranquil, the Seven Sins Reinhardt, he isn't swinging into that, and I don't know why. He didn't even have Shatter up, and he wasn't hacked. There wasn't a bomb in the air. So he was just standing there staring at Reed, and Reed's just getting off free damage. But he does come back and get the Shatter off, but the beat, that might have not been necessary.
So this is an example of these really long form fights that Seven Sins was really, really good at. There were very similar fights on the other phases of their attack. They managed to make it all the way to point 3 in Rialto. O5 had stopped just short of point 2. What do you think that Seven Sins did right here?
Seven Sins?
Yeah.
Well, shielding shielding the bomb is first step for sure. Whenever you're in that Graviton, not letting your shield break beforehand, which it was close. They got booped out of it actually, so that was actually a mistake on Five Heads, booping them out of that bomb. Also they had an early trance, didn't they? Yeah, the trance for the Graviton was pretty big. And then sorry.
No worries.
So that was pretty big. Wait, where did their Rhine use a shatter? That's my question.
Their Ryan used Shatter right before he charged and got stunned.
Okay, so he did. Yeah, Tranquil did get the block on that shatter. So I would say this came down to main tanks. Honestly, being able to block that shatter. If he wouldn't have blocked that, it would have been over because Zen hadn't popped trans yet. So there you go. That would have been the end of the fight.
Yeah,
But
it looks like
Tranquil read him.
follows up with his own Shatter and Sound Barrier to get
Exactly.
some quick picks.
Which the Sound Barrier is a little bit of overkill, but you know.
I feel like they really wanted to solidify the fact that they wanted to get this point.
It was asserting dominance, actually.
Sure, definitely.
It's quite interesting to see the sort of ult usage from Seven Sins because they had a clear plan, obviously coming into it, of EMP and Grav first of all. But the kind of way that the fight sort of drew out, the kind of way that they held on to a couple of extra ultimates a little bit later on, kind of showed a clear confidence in their support and their backline, and I think that's so crucial. Like not overusing. Obviously, they did towards the end, unfortunately, but not overusing too much. Kind of. Whereas you see like a 0-5 heads, they're just one after another, just all of their bomb. The bomb goes out, the beats used, the trans used, the grabs used. It's all in kind of quick succession. So there was no clear plan sort of going into it.
Happy
They
Pride
didn't
Month.
really kind of have an idea. So,
How many
yeah,
ultimates
they're
did you guys count in this clip? Because I counted 12.
yeah, I think all 12 were sort of
Every
thrown out
single
there, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, if you could distill this clip down into maybe a couple lessons that team should take with them, what would it be, Media?
I'm thinking because this is goats. I hate goats. It's fun to play. It is fun to play, but nothing dies. So I don't know. It literally comes down to
Maybe it's focus fire now.
Is there mechanics in goats? Really? Just between the no, it really just comes down to mechanics. Honestly, whenever you have all those ultimates, it's about who's the better team. You know, I think that what makes Five Heads so strong. I've never heard their comms. I would love to hear their comms. You know, I feel like they're perfect because they do a great job of focusing stuff down. But right here, you see that it's kind of just like they're all separated, especially because that Reinhardt separated the Diva from everything with that pin. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm a scuffed.
Quite a messy fight, isn't it? It's the towards the end of it, after the kind of this graph here, like you say, you see a lot of different mini fights sort of breaking out. So after this grab, you'll find that the pin comes in on the Diva, like the trans is obviously pulled over to the side. You get the Lucio and there's Sombra just on the side here, just having a fight. There's guys brawling in the background. I think it was just a clear, just a bit of a shit show. Honestly, just whoever gets the first pick is kind of going to win it, to be honest. So it's hard when you throw in 6 ults on either side to kind of come out and say who played better there, because I don't think there was a clear winner in a sense. Obviously, you could say there definitely is because obviously you got the point, but in terms of breaking this one down, it's kind of difficult when there's so many tiny little fights going out, and yeah, it's difficult.
I'll fast forward to the end and show you the true winner of this. It's probably actually Seven Sins, because look at the ults, you know.
Yeah.
They're already coming up on EMP and Grav. So, you know, after all those ults, they still win it, except Eagles has trans.
They're actually able to snowball that same exact ult advantage over to there were 2 fights in point 2 later. Like really like check out the Rialto VOD of this game on the Twitch channel. Like it's definitely goats done right, in my opinion. And yeah, well, thanks for taking the time to, you know, explain everything to us. Like I really, you know, appreciate it. I'm pretty sure everyone else here appreciates it too. Well, what do those quotes say again? Like I was gone. I was looking at what my parents were doing for a second. XQC said about me, Media is the best main tank in the league. It's okay.
You know?
Yep.
He's talking about the future Overwatch League, you know.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then Jane said, if I had $1 for every main tank better than Mediate, I would have $0.
Okay.
You know, that's not a lot of money. So,
No. And the
I don't
man
know.
currently has a lot of money.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for taking the time to also cover up your wallpaper.
It's good. It's good.
We have to be PG-13 for the kids. Mediate, thank you so much for being here. I guess now's the time for plugs or you know, anything you want to promo. What you got going on this summer? How's it going?
What do I have going on in the summer?
I mean, that's just kind of a question I like to ask people who are now like, you know, like out of school, out of university, they're taking their vacays.
Well, and I'm working in the summer, and I'm moving to California at the end of the summer, so that's pretty cool.
Champ, where at?
In August, yeah. Sacramento.
Sacramento.
I'm going to go to college, you know.
Well, congratulations and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Weebs rise up. Yeah.
Weebs rise up.
God.
Confirmed.
I haven't made it to an anime meeting, but I need to.
An anime watch party every Wednesday. Weeb Wednesday at 8 PST. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. You guys better you guys better show up.
I do have an anime profile, but since I've shown my face, my opinion is no longer trash. So
there we go. Well, in any case, Mediate, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And yeah, good luck on your future games. Congrats on your win once again, MC 3-1, Lightbringers Leftovers. Yeah, hey, have a great rest of your weekend. Of course.
I'm going for it, Barry. See you later, Pop.
See you.
Cheers, buddy.
And well, as the third interview sets in the East, in the UK where Puppy is right now, so too does this podcast. We're just about ready to wrap up here. Real quick, let's talk about upcoming games. I just got to bring this up real quick. Where are you? Okay. So once again, we are in week 3 of lower division. We still have KOA Suia left to watch. SSL, LBL coming up this week. Week 4 matchups include LBL or Lightbringers Leftovers versus Unknown Academy, Seven Sins Academy versus Night Ops Academy, and Suia Academy versus Saturn Snow Leopards up in the upper division. Yeah, up in the upper division, we got Suia still has their Lightbringers Leftover game to play, as well as their Night Ops game to play. Breakthrough versus Skyhounds is going to come up soon. And, yeah, you know, those are coming up as well. Upcoming games, right? That was just sort of the games to watch out for in the next coming weeks. Upcoming games that are currently scheduled are Night Ops Breakthrough, which is today at 6 p.m. EST, or 2 p.m. PST if you're on the West Coast. And in the Academy division, we have Lightbringers Leftovers versus Saturn Snow Leopards June 5th at 8 p.m. and Lightbringers Leftovers versus Unknown Academy June 8th, also at 8 p.m. So be sure to check out those games. Cheer on your favorite players, your favorite heroes. And, yeah, in any case...
Talk about favorites.
What's up?
Talk about favorites. Who's your favorite team in the league to watch?
My favorite team. Okay,
I'm obviously talking about from a person from this because I've just come back from 6 months.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Okay.
There's so many changes to the teams.
Okay.
I need to know who's the ones to watch for.
Okay. Oh, all right. You know what? That's a good point. So everyone can join me and go to overwatchpretenders.com, our wonderful website made by our amazing admin Spidey. Go over to standings, and we're going to hit upper division standings. And I'm looking at this right now. Currently, 05 heads 5-0, 7 Sins 3-2, Night Ops 3-1, Mercury Cougars 3-2, right? Those are the current top 4 seeds in the league. And frankly, my favorite team to watch right now it's Night Ops, I would say. Yeah. I think they are some of the most mechanically gifted people in the league. I think there's a level of consistency across all those players that is just really satisfying to see. I really like seeing how they really play off of each other. But following that would be 05 heads, then 7 Sins, then the alma mater of MC. Unfortunately, I placed those in that order from a just because I haven't gotten a chance to see too many MC games. But in terms of the rankings, I would still say that this is a very like accurate rankings that I would put, just across the league. I think that everyone currently is where they should be in the standings right now. But hey, I'm ready to be proven wrong for sure. Which is why I'm really excited to see the Night Ops breakthrough game coming out today. I'll be there in the chat for sure.
Yeah.
In terms of lower division, and I've always been like a sucker for lower division. I love seeing these teams play. Let's check out the lower division standings real quick. Everyone can join me. And currently, we have 3 teams with 2 wins. We Academy, Naps Academy, Seven Sins Academy, and honestly, it's more or less what I expected in terms of like teams that did well last season and really fostered this like inter-team communication with their parents' team are doing significantly better than newcomers in the league, right? And even though Saturn Snow Leopards is the MC Academy team, even though Lightbringers Legacy is the Lightbringers team, there were still some massive roster changes. And frankly, I don't know what the team culture is like among those 2 teams in terms of their parent teams, but I know that they're still finding their footing, right? Unknown Academy, they've been plagued with roster problems as well. So I'm really, really happy that they did get a win. So congratulations to them once again. And well, I think if anything, the 2 teams to watch out for on lower division are going to be Night Ops Academy and Seventh Academy. So
I think it's really interesting there that you sort of pick those 2 out, and especially since those 2 teams are in the sort of top 3 in the lower division, and they're also sort of like in the top 4 within the upper division as well, or top 3 in its upper division. So do you reckon that's down to like their coaching staff, or the ethos that they bring to their teams, or something like that, or is it their play style that they kind of like incorporate throughout the leagues? It's
I don't want to talk bad about anyone per se, because of course we're very, very thankful to our coaches. We're very thankful to the people that teach us just Definitely. Of their own time and willingly. But I do know that a good coach can make the difference between a good team and a great team, and really taking the time Definitely. To explain mistakes and having that level of one-on-one, coaching time is very, very important. There's a reason people, like in college, they like having small classes so they can have this more one-on-one time with a teacher, and having relationships with parent teams like Seven Sins and Seven Sins Academy, Night Ops and Night Ops Academy, Suya and Suya Academy, and having each like role also have their own like analog in the parent team, and they can always talk, and they can definitely have this one-on-one analysis is really important, and really crafting people's abilities. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Cool. It is time for confessions. Hello. And unfortunately, not a lot of people posted confessions this week, so this will be a very, very quick one.
You got us down, chat.
Yeah, chat, you gotta be more woke. What are you doing? Okay. Here we are. Here's one. Someone said, Jacob Bro having an ego bigger than Matt is the reason we lost to KOA. And that, of course, was something from the Saturn Snow Leopards. Jacob Bro, do you have an ego bigger than Matt? If so, we'd love to have you on the podcast. Where are you at? Another person regarding that same match said, damn, 3-2, kind of better than what I expected. But I feel bad for Matt's ego for 4-0ing them, lol. Lots of attacks on Matt. Matt, when are you going to clap back in confessions? I'm ready. Another person just says, Pugs are alive. Join them. Thank you, Moshi. We appreciate you plugging Pugs. And then Two Majestic Moose, New York sucks.
As in like the country, the city?
I don't know if it's a city or the Overwatch League team.
Are we talking about in general? Because that's a very broad
they have
statement.
They have good pizza.
They do have good pizza.
Yeah.
I haven't been there that often, and I would like to go back there. But
Moshi, you're the only one who uses the Japanese Goblin emote. First of all, that's how I know.
Ah, right.
That's the one.
Yeah,
but
the people in New York are quite it can be quite abrupt sometimes. Like when I've been over there, so as a British person, we're all very like, oh, you must can't bump into people, you have to be very we're a bit to be honest, we're a bit of
Yeah.
wusses to be honest. When
Sure.
we go over there and there's people walking about and they're like, I've got to get to work and and fucking like running up and down the streets and stuff, and then we're just there like fucking taking pictures like, well, this is amazing. And then people are just like, fucking get out of the way. So,
Oh
yeah, no,
my goodness.
It's a bit strange, one. It's definitely like a bit of a different culture. So
For
that's
sure.
my thoughts on New York.
You're
in case
coming
you-
to the U.S. soon.
I hope to be. Yeah. So I
When
was
is
going
that,
to
Pups? When is
do
that?
I was going to do a little bit of a tour from sort of probably around Florida over to LA. That kind of fell through because the cost of the actual camper van that I was going to buy, what you guys call it, RVs, I think. I don't know what that stands for, but yeah. So the cost of that it sort of went up too much.
I
so-
think recreation vehicle, because it's used for like
Recreation-
camping.
oh, okay.
Yeah. If I had to
Yeah,
guess.
that makes more sense. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think for life, I mean, what I meant. I was like,
Right.
Um,
I did promise Saturn Snow Leopards. Well, first of all, there weren't a lot of clips this week either. So, like, come on, guys, what are you doing? Be sure to get them over to your team reps. But we do have a singular clip that I promised Saturn Snow Leopards that I'd show them. And let me quickly bring it up because it is probably one of the best clips I've ever seen. I really hope someone DMs it to me right now. You guys know what it is. Who was it? Where is it?
What time is the game on tonight?
The game on tonight's gonna be at 6 p.m. EST. That's Night Ops versus Breakthrough. Oh my goodness, I cannot find the Diva clip. I can't find it. Cryptic just messaged me, of course, the quote-unquote second best main tank of Mercury Cougars according to Mayda, but he's always first in my heart. CJ's getting it for me. What a guy.
What a
Oh, yo, yeah, we're doing. Hey, Rush, if you know what clip it is, go post it. Like, come give it to me. Give me the clip.
I'm intrigued to see how this plays out.
Give me the clip. All right, Spidey just messaged me. Everyone on Mercury Cougar really wants to see this clip. All right. Give me 1 second. Let's get this going. Let's see.
I tell you what, I'm glad to be back because there was a distinct lack of Britishness.
There
on
was
this
a
podcast.
distinct lack of Britishness in this podcast.
I think falling in line with the Overwatch League, it needs a certain element of Britishness brought back into it. Kind
Yeah.
Of like
Oh yeah.
certain kind of place in the kind of a very terrible place of being in esports. 'Cause we
Oh,
don't
yeah,
really have
uh-huh.
much. We didn't really have much in terms of like esports. You know, I mean, look at the sort of players. We've got a few more though in the Overwatch League now. You know, with fusions and boombox and crews, but it's still kind of not enough in comparison to like everybody else in South Korea.
So I'm just gonna be quiet and let this clip play out. There will be sound in this clip.
Oh, nice.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
I feel like if it wasn't scouted properly, or the reaction time was low enough, it would have been really good for them. Come on, Shatter, Shatter, yes, yes!
Ooh, and it got the charging Ryan. Oh my god.
Wait, what just happened?
Diva so lost the match
How?
That's just unlucky. How did she fit
I
through
have
that
it
hole?
recorded. I'll show
They
you
don't
just
know.
put,
later.
they just put
Through there.
full. We
But
don't
that should
talk
not
about
happen.
it.
I'm sorry. Blizzard, fix it. It's funny. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Rick not on cart?
His name's very fitting as well.
Oh, I guess it's
That's
because it's
an oops.
close.
It ends with Cher saying "cut the VOD," and that's where we're going to cut. And that's where we're gonna cut the VOD today. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Boom. My name's Four Bears. I've been joined by Puppy. This has been Pretender Pod's new season, not really, Return of the Hound. Puppy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks very much. It's great to be back.
Well, in any
Very
case,
bad.
hey, be sure to check out, of course, next week, always Sundays at 9 p.m. That's where we're at. If you liked what you heard, hey, let us know. If you didn't like what you heard, hey, let us know too. That sort of feedback helps a lot, helps us grow the show. And yeah, hey, we'll see you next time.
Catch you later.
$9 a.m. 9 a.m. PST.